There is one person involved in the 2 decades of sexual abuse of students at The Ohio State University by Dr. Richard Strauss, who is guaranteed to never pay a price for what happened to hundreds of young men. And that is Dr. Richard Strauss.
Strauss committed suicide back in 2005, years after he was allowed to retire with dignity, getting a full pension and the lofty title of Professor Emeritus. What he did to at least 300 young men is just now percolating to the surface, revealing devastating scars for his victims and an unsuspecting university administration forced into damage control for a crisis it unknowingly inherited. We have new information tonight on what might happen next and who could be forced to share the blame.
On day one, at the start of the season, the sexual assaults began.
It took but a week being on campus before my first experience happened with Dr. Strauss.
Neither the members of the board of directors nor university president Dr. Michael Drake were in power when hundreds of students were abused by Dr. Richard Strauss. They are not responsible for what went wrong, but they are the only ones who can make it right.
I want to reiterate that we are dedicated to a fair outcome. To be clear, this means that Ohio State is committed to a monetary resolution.
Mediation is underway for a financial settlement, and the university is offering free counseling, although the statute of limitations means the university is not legally obligated to do anything. But this is an image crisis.
This university knew. It knew prior to my enrollment, and it knew after.
Because the victims are talking.
People have asked why we didn't say anything back then when these abuses were going on. The fact is, we did. We openly complained about the abuses and the actions of Dr. Strauss and the deviant culture within Larkin's Hall.
The Perkins report says at least 22 coaches were aware of what Strauss was doing. At least 4 former wrestlers and 1 referee are on record saying they complained to then assistant coach and now Congressman Jim Jordan. The high-profile congressman insists he knew nothing.
We're happy to talk with the folks who are doing the investigation, but nothing. Things they said about me just were flat out not true.
That was Jordan 18 months ago. He would not be interviewed for this story. His office says he had never heard of any abuse or he would have dealt with it, claiming multiple investigations confirm that. But Jordan's office could not produce any of those investigations for us.
So when you hear Jim Jordan and other university officials say, I didn't know that was going on, do you believe them?
So I think that an appropriate response from anybody in this situation should be to take a little bit of ownership and say, you know what, I was there, and by God, if I could have done something, I mean, my heart goes out to these people.
Stephen Snyder Hill is identified in the Perkins report as Student B, the Strauss assault victim who relentlessly complained in 1995, leading to Strauss's suspension. In a show of arrogance, Strauss then complained about his boss, Medical Director Ted Grace, to the medical board. We found this July 1996 response from medical board investigator Marcia Barnett, who revealed she learned Strauss was under investigation by the university for inappropriate examinations of male students, that the university was considering making a formal complaint to the medical board, and that the university asked her to maintain confidentiality about the investigation of Strauss. We now know the university never filed a formal complaint, instead allowing Strauss to retire with a pension and emeritus status. His hundreds of victims were silent for decades until a single complaint opened the floodgates, and the now adult men are demanding justice.
So I'm here to speak for those who still suffer in silence. I'm here to stand with the men who have put themselves out there in the public eye since the beginning and led the way, supporting those of us who are reluctant to step out from the safety of anonymity.
We're David, they're Goliath. We know that we're small and they're big and they can't fail, and we've heard all that stuff. I don't care, because I got a slingshot.
It seems certain that there will be a financial settlement of all the pending federal claims filed by more than 300 men. But with so many victims and so many lawyers, the final figure is difficult to predict. The university has said also that there are safeguards in place to make sure that what happened with Dr. Strauss can never happen again. And you can see my full interview with student B, Stephen Snyder Hill, on our website. Just click on the link to any of the 3 stories we have on our homepage tonight at NBC4i.com.
In other news tonight, the lead defendant in a network of Ohio men charged for crimes related to the sex abuse of 2 10-year-old children was sentenced to prison today. 35-year-old William